Next we will be assembling some MAXIMERA drawers. First ones are the really shallow ones, then I will have some intermediate ones and then some huge ones. Actually only one huge one. Anyway, let's open this up and get to it. Did not even realize these are basically exactly the same thing as this one that I just installed, but they just close like this up to the level and are way deeper, so they go way more in there. This is shorter, is for a top side cabinet. Anyway, so I will use obviously the same method that I already did with this one and continue with any differences if we have any. For the small ones I think not, because they most likely are exactly the same size. For the bigger ones probably we have to add something. We will see. Obviously we now install these metal connectors on the front bobbin gray plate, and it will clip in place exactly the same as the old white one that we have in there. If I could actually do it with one hand, it will slide in there and clip, but I cannot do it with one hand. And another difference, these hinges don't have installed on them the slow close mechanism. It's here and we will install it ourselves. It just clips in place from what I see. Might have said hinges instead of rails, these rails. This is in place and it's quite dumb. I will explain when I install this thing in there. Yeah, it's weird honestly. Anyway, now let's install the soft close. Left rail, left soft close, so make sure you pair them correctly. This is how it works without soft close. So it's opened up and it basically jumps in place. That's not nice at all. And if we add the soft close, something like, or the other way around. I need to figure this out, be back in a second. Well, this is counterintuitive. It's actually going like this and it will poke out. This is why it doesn't come installed, because this would destroy itself. So you kind of simply put it in here and pull on it, but I cannot do it with one hand. And it clipped in place and it's locked. That's the clip that holds it locked. And let's close this thing now and see how it works. Well, that's a different story, isn't it? Okay, let's do the same, and now I'm going to go install, do the same for the right side and go install them into there. Based on, where am I? Not here, because I'm not putting them at the lowest level, and neither am I putting them internally. I'm putting them, yes, at a random place in the furniture. So this is the holes that I'm using, 2 and 2, I think. Am I using 2 and 2? No, I'm not using 2 and 2. What am I actually using? Or, yeah, this with the holes that you need to use is a bit tricky, honestly. Did I mess it up and went? Yeah, sorry, I went too far. This is what I'm using because I'm installing at the top. So I'm actually using holes 1, 3 and 3. So this is going to be fun. 1, 3 and 3 from here. So screws in, and because I'm installing this at the top, I needed to remove the particular plastic covers, these ones, from the holes on both sides, and now I'm going to put this rail in. There's a small glitch in the matrix. For all of this we go from this step downwards, and that means that we are here, and as you can see it shows you this little thing with the longer part underneath. I installed it with the longer part underneath, and behold, it's wrong. We have way too big of a gap here. So I need to open them up. Presumably I'm just pushing on this thing right here with something like this. But yeah, I need both hands to make sure that I actually also pull on this while pushing on that to unlock it, and rotate this whole thing. Nope, I was really wrong. You actually use a Phillips screwdriver, you insert it in there. Come on, Phillips, go in there. Why did I take it out? Wanted to show you and now it's not going in. Ha, it always happens like this. Okay, it's in now once again. And for the right side you need to rotate it clockwise, and for the left side anti-clockwise. So basically you are rotating in that direction and it will unlock like this. So I'll go do the same on the other side and we have this free. Again, that's the screw hole right there, and I'm going to show it to you on this other side. It's somewhere under there and my phone will not focus at all. Oh no, this is even more complicated. I actually installed it in the wrong holes, like I did on the small non-visible drawer of this type, but on this one you don't do it like this. You actually install it on this and on this on the other side, so this whole thing goes lower. Yay, great. Let's do this again. Also just want to mention this cut right here in the middle. You can see a hole in it. Needs to be up top. The underside doesn't have a cut like that, so you cannot simply rotate this thing, it will not clip in place. Cut needs to be up top to latch in place with stuff in there. Finally, I did it right. Now I will just put those small rubber bumpers in here, I think exactly over this ding that I made with a screwdriver a few days ago, to hide it, and it will cushion this thing exactly when it's touching it. Now let's put the other one in. Yeah, it's good. First, when I saw that this was level with the drawer, I said, why aren't we able to use the more of the height of the drawer, because stuff will actually hit that. Yeah, but now seeing it like this, it's a normal drawer, so there's no design problem with this. Ignore that. I just installed things improperly. Cover in place, rubber in place, and now I just have 4 more of these to go. A little bit of a warning: when you are installing the bottom drawer, you are not using the top holes, you are actually using the bottom holes, as you can see here. Hopefully you can see. So not those ones, but those ones, because obviously you don't have enough room any other way. And this also has a different configuration. You are using the 2 holes that I originally thought that we need to use. We do, but only for the bottom drawer. And yes, obviously I will need to tie down the cables, make sure that nothing metallic can touch them, and yeah, it's going to be a bit of fun. Worst case, I'm going to buy another one of these, the shorter version, and install it at the bottom, so it will be just a really short one here, so it doesn't affect the cables, although the cables are going up. So I need to be very careful that I don't damage them. In case you have a similar situation, make sure it doesn't create problems for you. And to get the drawers in place, even for the bigger ones, actually the deeper ones, it's the same idea. You just put it on the rail and start to slide it. At a point it will start to bite. You still keep it, try to slide, push it, and I think I did it wrong. No, I did not. It's in. Or is it in? This thing actually locked wrongfully in place. So presumably this can also happen. Okay, I think now we are locking properly in place. So don't be worried, don't be scared. Wiggle everything around until it locks properly. Something like this. And now we are properly locked. And yeah, it seems that I have much more room than I thought, so I just need to keep them with some clamps on this back wall. And we are good to go and safe because we are already touching in here, so we have 3 fingers, almost 4. That's perfect, no issues whatsoever. So again, cover and rubbers. And we are done with the small ones, and let's get to the bigger ones. Okay, next we are going to assemble one of these MAXIMERA really tall drawers. Somewhere in here I think, and it will be quite tall. Already started to open up the boxes, everything is in there, apart from this, which is basically the back end, which is quite similar to the small ones, just taller, obviously. And I think we have more stuff in here, these things, which are these that give it the bigger height. So let's get to clipping everything in place. Should be identical as for the smaller ones, 100%. All the difference will be in these things, so I will get back to you when I'm installing those. Hard for me to not show something, so you simply take this thing, align it with this, and you kind of, hard for me to show something also today. Let's reset this. So you take that thing, align this on it, and just push them together. Be back in a second. Something like this, but geez, that's hard to do with one hand. They need to clip in place, one into the other. Just needed to push them together, but it's a bit difficult to show. They are just clipping in there with some plastics. Nothing more, nothing less. Now again, slide this thing in. We have the edges, the rough edges on the sides in here. They will not be seen. Another rough edge. Oh, my bad. We don't have a rough edge in here, so I put this the wrong way around. I need to rotate it. At this point we take from this bag the really long screw and put it in here. Not sure which version to follow, but I think we are closer to top mounted by having it next to another one. We are not at the, or actually, I could get this completely wrong, honestly. That's a bit weird, because this is for sure not, so I have to choose between these two, but I'm in the middle, I'm not top or bottom. Okay, installed all of this. As for the top mounted variant, hopefully they are good. Now this needs to clip in there and this one in there, so let's put them together, and it's nicely locked together, looking good. Let's continue with these thingies, which seem to be these two. Yep. Let's see how they tell us. Probably something like this. This locks somehow in there, and this locks somehow in there, I'm guessing. Forgot about these little things that go in here. And in that hole right there, one of these screws to lock it in place, and then on top of it, this little cap. Jesus, no, don't put a screw in that hole. It will go in, but you will destroy this thing. I realized, why did this have a weird shape to it? Well, because that's what locks this in place. As simple as that. You just push it all the way to the end, and that's that. You don't need to lock it more. Yeah, if you didn't realize until now, I haven't worked for 2 or 3 weeks on any furniture or anything around the house because I've been quite sick, didn't feel well at all. Not the virus running around, other things that I have them for years. and I'm not fully 100%, so never ever try to do steps by yourself by guessing. Follow this. I was starting to guess myself, and that's never good. Now this thing, as you can see, this is the shape, and it will come from the top and it should click in there, and it clicked. Now you come at this end, push it like this in, and this thing locks everything. Ta-da! And we do the same on the other side. At this point we turn this thing around, get these 3 little screws, and somehow find the middle, more or less. Screw here, and screw here. Make sure you do not damage this by running your screwdriver or something towards the edge. That's in place. Now let's prepare the rails. Let's see which is which. What do we have here? Left rail. So do this, and let's search on this left. So Jesus, whew, my brain is fried. Okay, this is how they go in. So never give up, insist, and you can do it. You just at this point pull on it in this direction and it will lock in place. Okay, put these things in. First, third and last hole from the top part. And for the level, my father held this in place in there at the proper level, and I counted the number of holes where it needs to be. Hopefully got it right. So now I think I'm just going to pull this thing, or I don't know. I don't even think I need to pull them out. I just slide it in there and it will lock. From here you do the adjustment, but for the moment I'm not adjusting anything until I will finish installing everything, even the handles and whatnot, whatever. But I just clip these plastics back in here. Actually not back, because it's the first time they go in, and one on the other side. And if we need to adjust this thing on this direction, we pull this back and actually rotate, I think, on this, and it will change the length of this rod and pull this like this. But as far as I can see, this thing is aligning quite okay, and I just need to put those little transparent things, the bumpers, in this, glue them. Remembered to show you that we also have this that helps you with the level for your drawers, but as you can see, what I'm doing here exists nowhere in there, so I needed to figure it out myself. Next, we'll be assembling a smaller drawer. That's the smallest. This is a bit bigger, and this is the biggest that we already did. So this one, all of these identical, like for the other sizes. I have prepared this. All of the connectors are identical. Once again, we have 2 sets of holes. In the lower ones the metal connectors, and in the top ones the plastic connectors, and the rails and everything else is identical to this little guy right here, just it will be a bit shorter. So let me do that now. And yeah, I'm not even sure if I showed you that I also glued the little rubber dampers in place on both sides, obviously. Yep, that's nice. So let me quickly assemble all of this and get back to you. This thing is assembled, identical to the previous big one. Put these things in place, same thing but smaller, and you don't need to put anything in the middle of them to hold them in place. They just sit here, and now standard thing, no difference. Next, what else? Prepare the rails, put the dampers on them, and attach the rails in there, and we should be good to go. People, once again, follow the instructions. Every single time you think you know what you're doing, you will miss a step. I assembled the drawer for this position, not for the lowest, which is from page 12. So it's not good for that. I will install it in here. Luckily, I had to assemble 2 of them, so I can use it here. And this has been it. Basically, in this part we have all 3 sizes of drawers that you could potentially get. Not sure if I told you, but to get these things out when you have a rail so close to it, pull it out fully and just lift it. And this side is already unlatched, you can see. And you pull it from the other side the same, and you take it wherever you want. But now I'm putting it back and it latched in place and it's closing.